Yes, sir. Hello. 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 Sir, I cannot hear you. Check your mute button.
Okay, I'm not sure why
You good?
you can't hear me. Can you hear me?
I can't hear nothing. Oh, there you go. What?
Say, man. Oh, okay, there you are. I was like, how do you work this thing?
Sir, we cannot hear you.
Hey, man, where's the teacher at? Wait,
I just
what?
seen him on the way. Oh, he right there.
I'm right there. I see him, but we can't hear you, man.
He gotta cut his mic on.
His mic may not work. If you're on the computer, you got to go to settings and turn your microphone on, bro. Damn, I was all at the fuck. Oh, man. I was all at school and shit, man. God damn.
Okay, y'all hear me now? Can
Yeah,
you hear me? I can hear nothing. Tell them again.
Yes.
Yep.
I can hear you.
All right, how about now?
Who got the music in the background?
Yes.
I think that's Professor.
Dear sweet God. All right. All right, how about now, y'all?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, cool. Could you have heard me the whole time?
No, not the whole time.
All right, because I can just now hear y'all. Thank God. Okay. So, anyways, I'm in lovely Colorado Springs, Colorado.
waiting for my clutch to get replaced that blew out on the way back from Denver this weekend. So here I am. I'm glad that people are here. Is anybody trying to get in and can't? Or everyone who's here, right? Is anybody in the classroom itself, like with other people who aren't on this?
Well, no,
I don't think so.
we all
right.
left.
Cool. I just want to make
Yes,
sure in
sir.
case there was. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, I have to go.
Okay, well, you can go. That's fine. It'll be recorded. Where you got to go?
I have my dad work to do it for his tax pay.
Oh, well, good job. Well, have fun, drive safe, and watch the video. It'll be posted to the course site in a little bit.
Sure. I will ask somebody in the classroom what we did on this today.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. I
Wait,
appreciate it.
Nope.
Did
What's up?
we have class Monday?
No, class Monday was nothing. I was away from the internet and like still waiting to try to get a tow truck to take my car to the dealership on Monday. So the only thing that happened Monday was I posted some videos with lectures from another class that I did. So it's the same material we were going to do on Monday on rules for radicals and beginning the policy thing. So it's a 25-minute lecture I posted to the course site. It's on my YouTube channel as well. That was Monday's class. And then we're going to do the policy plan worksheet, which I'm going to walk us all through like right now.
All right,
That
cool.
sounds good to people. Cool? Everybody, you can give thumbs up or hands up or just, yeah. Cool. All right, let's see here.
Man, Carter barely caught the man.
So what, bro?
Damn, man, DJ barely caught his thumbs up.
Oh, shoot. All right, let's see
What are
here
you on
now.
about, Peyton?
No, you had your camera off and you was like this and barely caught it.
I
Yeah,
turned
that's
back
fine.
on to put my thumbs up, Peyton.
Man, you're fine, man. You can keep your camera off if you want, man. Your sweet voice is good enough. All right. So we're just going to do a new blank document.
Sweet talk,
Cool.
CJ. You don't need sweet talk him.
I can just mute Peyton this whole time, man. All right.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Cool. Well, let's go with this and share application window. This. Share that, open new. All right. So the policy proposal document, the plan document, right, is going to be like we talked about the stock issues of policy debate, right? You got, first of all, inherency, right? Which is why the problem is going on right now, why it's intractable, why the people aren't fixing it right now, right? The next thing is harms, and then there's a plan. So what we need to do for this document, right, is pick a topic that you want to write your public policy proposal about, right? And you need to tell me two things. You need to tell me, first of all, what is the problem or the policy issue, the problem in the status quo. Sorry, I can't type it well. TATQUO. Now, what harm does it cause? Are they significant? I'll check this in a second. And then what plan would you enact to address those harms? And then we'll move into solvency and evidence later. So what plan would you enact to solve harms? So has anybody thought about a topic they are wanting to write on or maybe write on this semester?
Politics. My boy Trump winning the election.
I don't think you can make a policy proposal to do that.
Oh, okay.
Because like the election is what happened. You could you could vote to do away with or to have a policy to do away with the election, but that'd probably not be so tenable.
Okay, I probably would. What about stopping mail-in voting?
That would be a possibility. Most
Okay,
definitely.
cool.
So let's hypothetically look at Peyton's plan. If we were Peyton, and we would say, okay, the plan for the problem status quo is, what about the mail-in balloting do you see as an issue?
So you asking me this?
Hmm?
Are you asking me this? Like,
Yeah, I'm not asking everybody. Everybody's brainstorming as if they're you. So you could answer for yourself too.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so like I think it could be fraudulent,
Okay.
and like you could throw out hundreds of thousands of votes for one candidate if you rig the election.
Okay, so we'll deal with possibly invalidating election results, right?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
the thing would be that it would take months or maybe even years to get all the votes of everybody that lives in America.
So the timeline for results, okay. So what's some harms that could stem from that? So say we have, hypothetically speaking, right, the results of the election or any election are delayed because of the accuracy of counting mail-in ballots, right? What are some harm scenarios? So basically we're saying, okay, so say that the election results take 2 weeks to come in, right? So what happens then in that vacuum that could be bad or could be good? So what are some harms that could create if there's a timeline changes the results?
Well, it could create, I mean, obviously it could come to be in line to create more chaos. Big
Okay.
that. And it would backlash on Trump because everybody would blame him. But then it could also mean that they're rigging the election, meaning that someone could win that wasn't supposed to win.
Okay.
And then, you know what I'm saying? It could mean a whole bunch of things like, it could mean that Joe Biden a third
Right.
point.
Okay, so increases opportunities for corruption.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, that's what
All right. So are they significant? Probably these harms are somewhat significant, right? So this is a very like bare bones way to do it. We'll go more in depth when we actually start fleshing this out, right? But just to give you the idea. So what plan would you enact to solve the harms you're saying could exist in the status quo? Remember, you have to have the jurisdiction, like what agency is going to do it, funding, enforcement, and a lack of vagueness in the plan's articulation, right? So anybody else, their ideas too. You can be devil's advocate if you don't believe in this and just like shout up ideas too, everyone else.
Well, it doesn't look like anybody else is talking. Now, I don't even see anybody on the camera, but okay. Anyways, so I'm gonna say that like obviously what's that one place, USPS or something like that?
Yeah, there's the USP, the Postal Service, right? That's an agency, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, they would have to solicitate. I mean. Could make it illegal for unsolicited votes, but legalize solicited vote, or you could make it illegal all the way around.
So I mean, I don't think there's a way. I mean, necessarily illegal, right? So you would say that you would mandate a moratorium on the distribution of, meaning they have to stop, right? The distribution of unsolicited ballots, right? Would be what you would suppose to be the first plan, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So what else would have? So what would have to happen for that to go into place?
Well, first off, the postal services will have to eliminate corruption. So that's hard, but
Okay. Well, let's talk about this. So what would it mean to cease distributing unsolicited? What do we mean by a solicited ballot? So you would have to define that next in your plan, right?
yeah. So you'd have to the voter would have to ask for a voting ballot. The postal service send it to them, then the voter would send it back to the postal service.
All right. So how long in advance will they have to solicit a ballot to, what's the turnaround window, right? So if you solicit a ballot 3 days before the election day, odds are ain't going to get to you, right? How do you solicit the ballot then? Like what system are you going to set up to allow for the solicitation of mail-in ballots?
Man, I'm sorry, I can barely hear you.
I'm sorry.
My
You're fine, man.
So.
What I'm saying is like, so you would have to then initiate a system in your plan, right, to allow for the solicitation of mail-in ballots. So what kind of, you don't have to answer this right now, but I'm saying when you do your plan framework, right, you have to consider, okay, you're going to distribute solicited ballots. So first of all, how do you define a solicited ballot? Second of all, what mechanism would you use to distribute them? Like who would take the requests? Is there like an online portal? You have an 800 number? Use like call Miss Cleo? Like what do you do?
It'd be the postal services online, or you could call. I mean, either one.
Okay. Right. Hang on. Okay. So hypothetically, online portal. Everybody else can see the Word document I'm sharing, right? All right, cool. So Peyton, I'm gonna go ahead and put pause on you right there. So don't answer. I'm just trying if everybody else kind of understands. We're gonna brainstorm something else now, okay? So you're doing good, man. Just focus on driving, please. Please turn your camera off and focus on driving. Good God.
Hey, man, I can drive.
Man, don't. All right. So everyone else then, right? So if the plan is to distribute unsolicited ballots by the USPS, right, through maybe an online portal, right? What are some other things this plan would have to have from the rest of the class, right? What are some problems this would raise that we could address by fleshing out the plan more fully? So just pretend you agree with Peyton for this right now. And anyone can chime in, or the chat too can be used.
Ain't nobody even answering or what?
No, I think they're thinking and typing, man. You're fine, Peyton.
I'm the only one.
Let's see.
So what is it like supposed to be doing?
Oh, so we're doing, so hypothetically speaking, right?
Okay.
If we were to be making, this is like the policy proposal elements we have to have for our plan sheet, right? Which is just like the topic we're planning to research and write about for our final project, right? So we're just kind of going through a trial run of how to brainstorm our topic and the things to consider when we are putting it together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So if we were hypothetically in Peyton's mind and doing mail-in voting, right, is the issue he wants addressed, right? We have some harms that he's alleging it causes, right? We'll find evidence to or support that, right? And now the plan that he would think of to solve the harms, right, has to deal with the distribution of solicited ballots and not unsolicited ballots, right? So what are some ways, if we decided that distributing solicited ballots is the best way to go, what things should we clarify in the plan to make that actually attainable, like a reality, not just a possible pie in the sky idea? Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
So if you're emperor of the world for the day, and you say, okay, our plan is to make it so voters have to solicit a ballot to mail in, how can we do that in a very effective way to make sure the voters get the ballots and they get recollected in time?
The only thing I can think of is like an express type thing, because you know how mail does take a while for it to transfer in.
Right.
So like we would have to like either they can go pick it up and then mail it in type thing,
Mm-hmm.
or like it's gonna be hard for them to mail because mail does take a while to transfer in.
Yeah.
So what if, for example, hypothetically, right, you could print out a ballot from a secured, encrypted government site and mail it in without having to get it from them? Does that make sense? If there was some way to do an encrypted, watermarked, like government portal to print a ballot and then mail it in on your own, what would people think about that?
I think that would be more efficient because I feel like people have more Wi-Fi and more printers than they do anything else. Because like people have to get mail and be like, oh, that's junk.
Right. So this relies on the Postal Service then only doing like one way shipment. They don't have to send out and get it back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how could we prevent people from like maybe like their grandma logs on or their kids log on and print the ballot and send it in? What kind of security portal or protocols do we have maybe that you think of?
Create a password.
Create a password, yes. Okay, thank you.
Password or use your social security because like I personally barely know mine, so I don't know my parents.
Right. So there's this thing. So maybe there's a thing, for example, in the military, right, for the VA system, called Real ID and Real ID login. You have to create an account that's a verified ID, right? A passport, a driver's license that's properly issued, not expired, and then answer security questions like credit report stuff, like what street did you live on? Was your '98 Honda Civic a red or a blue or four-door, right? And you verify ID that way. And so the portal could verify identification in those kind of ways, possibly. What would people think about that?
I
Like,
think
what would,
that's efficient
okay.
because, like, only that person knows about that question.
right?
Like
So
you,
that,
your 98 Civic, so.
yeah, so the same kind of questions you'd validate your identity to, like, make a bank account or talk to the credit bureau, right? Would be the same kind of questions, ostensibly. Oh, sorry, my camera's off. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought y'all could see me. Ostensibly, that would. What now?
Look, ready for this? Hey, have my camera. Y'all send them Trump flags.
Jeez. Peyton, you worry me, brother. We hear and see you, Peyton. Were we gonna say something?
Oh yeah, I was trying to show y'all them Trump flags, but yeah.
Okay, well, don't worry about that. Focus on the road, Peyton. I'm not sure how to. Oh, I see here. There you go. I can't, man. I can't control his video, only his mic. That's weird. I want to mute your video, Peyton, but I don't want to mute your mic. All right. Anyways.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was trying to.
Hang on. Hang on, Peyton.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes, you're good.
Oh, okay.
All right. So what I was saying is, in order to have that kind of a ID portal, though, right, you have the same thing with, like, Voting Rights Act violations for people's access to ballots, right? The ID requirements in a lot of states have been rejected as unconstitutional and suppressing especially minority vote, right? So is it a fair and equitable process to have the online ballot or the mail-in ballot requiring the same kind of ID verification that states have rejected as discriminatory and unconstitutional for at the polling place voting? Thoughts?
I would say yes because, like, it gives people a better chance to vote. Because
Can you just say it one more time, Aliza?
oh, I said I would think it'd be more efficient because, like, for the people that can't get up and go drive or go to, like, a voting center, it'd be a lot easier.
Right, I think so. I mean, I think it would be. I think there is an argument that's been made for, like, voting ID requirements for in-person voting, right? That if we required an ID verification through the online or the solicitation of ballots, right, could run into the same challenges. But at the same time, right, you could still go to a polling place if that ID verification didn't work for you, right? But it might be disenfranchising or distancing to some, though, right? Just because the same reasons that people have said before. I don't know. What do people think? The group think on this. What are your guys' opinions? Anyone? Bueller?
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, it'll be more like efficient if we, like, if they were to do it online, and then, like,
All right.
it'll be like faster as well. And then like the security questions and all that's an excellent idea too. Yeah, I just think for, like, do it online, it'll be more efficient and easier for people to do.
Right, I think so, right?
I think it takes a lot longer in time, though.
What do you mean?
I think it'd take a lot longer because because it would take a lot longer to process all the votes instead of just getting in. You know, like it would have to.
Well, of course. I think, right, so the thing you're looking at, right, in a policy proposal is the status quo, meaning the way things are right now, right, has these harms. You're talking about the delayed processing times as a potential harm, right? And because there is a delayed processing time as a harm, if this reduces that processing time even, you know, someone else?
I muted myself, but I think that you're right. Because last election, there was people voting that were already dead. Like, how vote? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I do. I'm saying that already happened, right? So like the issue with that would be called, right, is a non-unique harm, right? So if you're saying that there was people on the voting rolls who were dead who voted in the last election, right? This mail-in thing has nothing to do with that, right? I mean, so you can't say that your plan to make ballot solicitors would change that because it already exists. That's something that a different policy plan could address ostensibly, right? But the one that you're trying to talk about here, right, the specific plan of mail-in voting, you're trying to make that more, I don't know, secure, I guess, or expedient, doesn't seem to deal with that directly, right? So it's a good brainstorming note, right? But we have to keep things kind of succinct to make it so a policy plan can address the issues that are being brought up. So let me just go over real quick before we get too far distant on the specific idea. So the plan proposal needs to have, first thing, what's the problem? Y'all can see the window I'm sharing, right? Everyone, maybe?
No, it's not there no more.
Okay, I wish it was. You sure? No, it's not. Damn it. Sharing. It says I was. Let me check 1 second. Is it sharing now?
No, sir.
How the F, man? All right. Sharing. Share tray. Desktop window. Application window. Board. Share. Now?
Still nothing.
Send them again. All right. Y'all can see my pretty face or what? Still.
It has your little picture of your little family.
Oh, okay. Well, I should be sharing. If not, I'll post this document after we get offline so you can all see what I'm talking about. But what it contains right now is the requirements for the policy. The first thing, right, is what's the problem in the status quo right now, right? Then harms is the next thing, right? And then, let me make this. And then are there significant harms? So for example, if you have the problem with status quo is that the new playground that was put in the elementary down the street has rusty nails on it, and little Jimmy got tetanus from running his leg against one, right? That's a problem, but is it significant enough to require action by the federal government or by a legislative body or judicial body, right? Probably not. Probably you could take a bolting hammer and go hammer those nails and give little Jimmy a tetanus shot and be all right, right? So are they significant enough is the next question, right? That you need to answer in this thing. Send that. And hopefully the answer is yes. And then what plan would you enact to solve the harms, right? And this is where we get to the articulation of the, well, remember the jurisdiction, right? The first thing you have to answer in the plan is jurisdiction. Who's doing this? And are the proper body to do it? So if you're talking about declaring war on North Korea, right? Declaring war on North Korea couldn't be handled by the Department of Agriculture, probably, yeah? So it'd be the United States federal government and the legislator we could declare war, right? All right. So next you have funding. If you have a plan that requires any kind of funding, right? Who's going to fund it and how? So, for example, if you're doing a mail-in balloting system that doesn't have existence as it is, maybe a number of dollars would have to be allocated from the federal government's coffers to the Federal Election Committee or from the, different agencies to fund setting up a online portal, right?
Hey, man, can you hear me?
I can now. What's up, bro?
Oh, okay, sorry, man. Something cut out. I couldn't hear nobody. So, okay. All right.
Y'all good now?
Yeah, I'm all good. Go ahead.
All right, everybody else hear me? Yeah? Okay. All right, so after funding, you need vagueness. Free of vagueness, right? So it's like you can't say the federal government will give money to help the voting process, right? You have to be specific in exactly what that action will entail, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
And then, okay.
Never mind. I just couldn't see you.
All right, it's fine. All right, enforcement, like that, would be the thing after funding. Like what jurisdictional agency is going to enforce this, right? So if the United States government says, okay, nothing but solicited mail-in ballots, right? And California says, okay, nah, we're going to just distribute ballots. What will actions will be taken by the federal government, and are they proper actions to ensure the compliance with the plan you're proposing, right? The same thing that if you're saying that we will, if your plan is that we're going to mail out ballots to every U.S. citizen, right? What will the government do if a state says, no, we ain't doing that? How will the federal government account for enforcement of the plan you're trying to enact? Okay? So that's the things to consider under the plan, right? And so these are the things I want us to think about and have answered by Friday, right? Is what problem you want to solve. This can be anything from educational problems, the fact that they pay a gym fee at UTPB when we don't have access to the gym, to like the education system, the healthcare system, mask mandates, EPA regulations on fossil fuels, green energy renewal, anything under the sun you can write a public policy about, right? So what topics you want, what do you care about? What do you want to write about, right? And then once you know what that is, you have an idea, what harms does the problem or the policy right now or lack of it cause, right? All right. Are they significant? And what's your plan to solve the harms? Does it have, who's doing it, will it cost money, and who will make sure it happens? And once we go from there, we can look at using the research, right, to look at, you know, the current statutory law, the current effect on the policy, right, and work towards articulating evidence for harms and solvency later on, right? But we want to know, first of all, what you want to write about and if it's a tenable policy to write a paper about. So that's what I want us to be thinking about, answering these questions I'll share right now with the group by Friday. Does that sound like a doable thing, folks? Anyone, everyone? What's this? Cool. To be shared right now on the chat. Stop sharing my screen. I'll post it on the course side too, of course, right? So here I'm back on the Canvas side. I'll post this document, which is an outline of the public policy proposal plan sheet, as well as the example that we did with Peyton, right? So that we can kind of see how to answer these questions. Now, I just want y'all to be brainstorming, thinking of the possible policies you could write on for the final paper, right? And give me the answer to that in that context. By Friday, I'll create a Dropbox on the Canvas site for that, right? I'll just review it and say, okay, this is a good policy, or this is too vague. We need to consider other things, and give you a thumbs up, thumb down, some advice. And we'll begin the research process next week, and I'll be back in Odessa instead of stranded in Colorado. Does that sound vaguely understandable?
Yeah, I kind of cut out for a minute. So
well, it's just all recorded too, so you can go back. The document I'm putting up on the chat and then on the course site, right? I want you to answer those questions and tell me what your policy proposal topic is. Hypothetical. You're not like glued to it for forever. You can change it, but brainstorm the spitball some topics you want to write your final paper about.
Alrighty.
For everybody. Savvy?
Yes.
All right. And then send that to me, or I'll upload it to Canvas by Friday. I'll give you a thumbs up, thumbs down, some advice. And come Monday, I'll be back in class and we'll start workshopping and researching these final paper projects.
All right. So when would this be due?
Well, I mean, I want you to know what topic you want to write about by Friday. Well, I already know yours. You gave it to me. So, I mean,
Well, I'll
So you
still
got-
put it in the.
Oh, you better. I'm just saying, like, it's not going to be hard to answer the question because you just told me the answer.
All right.
Cool. Any other questions about
Yes, sir.
anything else, everyone? Anything at all under the sun? No? Nobody got anything? Dante, you good?
Where's the chat at?
You hit the little
Oh,
show
okay.
button.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, cool. Zachariah, you all right? Luca, Caden,
I'm straight.
everybody else doing okay? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Any questions on this? Feel free to either use the GroupMe messages to ask me directly or email me. I'm actually happy to call people or do Teams meeting one-on-one if anybody's real confused.
All right.
But yeah, so just give me an outline of what your topic you want to write about is and what the plan you would think to solve it could be by Friday in the Dropbox I'm making.
All right.
Sound good, everybody?
Yeah.
All right, we'll be normalized next Monday and we'll knock this stuff out, all right?
All right.
All right, take care, everybody.
You too, man.
All right.